Liella's getting more new members, and I'm not really looking forward to it. At a recent live, it was announced that in the Love Live magazine on April 27th, they'll be revealing the new members of Liella officially. We already pretty much know one of them is going to be Wine, and we've known for a while that there would be new members because they started open auditions after Superstar Season 2 finished, but it's nice to have a confirmation this year instead of it just dropping randomly and ruining my video schedule like last year. From the standpoint of Love Live as a multimedia franchise, this makes sense. Liella's popular and has been expanding. It seems like they're done adding new members to Niji. I can't really be sure. More new members for each year in the anime makes sense. It's also more seiyus, so if any of them aren't able to go into concerts and stuff, there's more and more merch and all of that. Can you tell that I don't really care about the multimedia aspects of this franchise very much? Yeah. So, if it isn't extraordinarily obvious based on my content, I mainly just watch the Love Live animes and, like, I play some of the games, not frequently, which is why on the last video the footage was fucking Honokar, and this time I don't know what I'm gonna use. I probably should record something Love Live related, but I don't feel like it. The common rumor is 12. I think there's a chance it'll be 4 again. Not very likely, but a chance. I mean, in the shitpost image I included in my video on the new members last year, I included a purple haired girl, and we're very likely getting one, so there's a chance that it'll be 4, like in that. Drip Goku as an idol may still happen, guys. Like I said, in terms of Liella as an actual real life music group and a part of a multimedia franchise, I think this is perfectly understandable. However, from the perspective of Love Live Superstar as a show, this is a fucking terrible idea. When the initial 4 new members were announced, I said I enjoy all of their character concepts and think they seem like they will be fun, but I worried how the show would handle the new batch of characters it has to introduce while also juggling the existing plotline. And I had said I didn't think we would get a season 3, partially because I didn't think they would add 4 new members and bring the group up to 9, and that not be the final number. It seems like 12 is the standard now. There's that new, not VTuber, virtual idol group that's going to be a thing, and that only has 6 members currently. But it is very noticeable that none of them are third years, which I feel like is them future-proofing for the ability to add new members by either having the group get older or just introducing new members like VTuber gens do. That whole app feels like an experiment. I wouldn't be surprised if there isn't concrete plans for new members for that yet. But Superstar and Liella, I'm guessing it was always the plan to have these characters be the final group. And I just think from a show perspective, that's a really terrible idea. I've seen a lot of discourse about this on Twitter that's like, oh, Niji had a bad effect, or Niji's consequences have been so bad. And I don't think it's necessarily that. I think this is an issue that's existed since School Idol Project the anime started, and that's that you can't have 9+ main characters and expect a show to be able to balance that well. Like, there's a reason most shows, anime or otherwise, usually stick to like 4 to 6 main characters at most. Whereas Love Live has always had an issue of, by trying to make everyone the main character or a main character, it becomes really obvious that the shows have trouble doing anything else and still giving them all adequate focus. I think School Idol Project pulled it off fine enough. Haneo is really the only one you could really kind of question, but I feel like she does enough, even if it's mostly in supporting roles, where her presence as a character is justified and she doesn't feel completely underutilized, but that's also because the show didn't try and do anything else beyond being a slice of life character focus. It also, again, came at the expense of everything else because the plot in School Idol Project is really shallow. I love the show, but it is. And it also has an issue that would plague basically every Love Live show except, ironically, Sunshine, which is incredibly underdeveloped rivals because when you have 9 main characters, you can't have a fucking supporting cast because you're too busy trying to make sure all the main characters get focus. That's why we get so many scenes that are basically just giving everyone a token line and having the whole group there when they really don't need to be. Because, like, it's their way of trying to make sure people remember, like, oh yeah, these characters are important too. And it's why it's kind of ridiculous when you have, like, at points in Niji, like, 13 characters in a scene when really there only need to be, like, 4. Niji somewhat got around this cast bloat by being entirely plotless, which isn't a bad thing necessarily, but even without an overarching plot, having 13 characters made Niji Season 2 feel really forgettable to me. Because nothing could really get that much focus outside of, like, 1 or 2 episodes. Even the overarching plot of Lanzhou felt really rushed through, and Superstar Season 2, I don't think handled the new characters well. I like all 4 of them, but really, I feel like it should have just been Kineko, and then either Natsume or Mei and Shiki. Because Mei and Shiki are a pair, and because Wine, like, she's gonna be a new character, and introducing a new character as a rival who eventually joins the group is clever. That's something new. We haven't seen it, and I think introducing her a season before she joins the group is smart. It gives time to build her up as a character, but even within the season, she kind of loses a lot of steam by virtue of the fact that she debuts in episode 3 and makes a really good impression, and then she doesn't show up again until, like, episode 8 because the season is so busy introducing the other characters. It takes half of the season just for the group to be complete again. Generally, I see people predict that it's going to be one new girl, Wine, and then Arya. Which I think the idea of having a character that starts out as just a supporting cast sibling and then joins the group eventually is a smart idea. But if they were going to do that, and if they are going to do that, why didn't they focus on it more? Like, you'd think that would be something they would build up to in previous seasons. I might do a full video when all of these characters get revealed, but I'm not looking forward to Superstar Season 3. There are just way too many characters at this point for what the show is trying to do. I feel like at the start they were trying to do something between School Idol Project and Sunshine, where they keep a lot more of the overarching plot aspects of Sunshine without sacrificing the character focus that School Idol Project had. But at this point, I think Season 1 did both well. It wasn't perfect, but I genuinely think it was really good. And it's one of the few Love Live seasons where I feel like you couldn't remove a single one of the main cast members and not have to make significant changes to multiple episodes. And that's a good thing. That's what you want with your main characters. But Season 2, you could remove, like, half of the cast and it wouldn't matter. I think people complaining about this or not being happy about this announcement isn't just people finding things to nitpick. I think it really does come down to what interests you about the franchise. And for a lot of people, the shows are the draw. So when they make the cast completely unsustainable, especially in a show that's already had trouble balancing everything it wants to do, like Superstar, of course people aren't going to be looking forward to it. It's a bad decision.